Madame Fossey had gorillas in the mist. We've got goats in the grass. Oof. It's alright, you know, if we get trapped in here, we can always get the goaties to eat their way out. Taco Tuesday! Dalton! Go for help, Dalton! We made it, guys! Sometimes you just got to take your Toggenburgs for a walk through the bush. And I was explaining this the other day. Whoop, there they go. Some of the behaviour I get up to here on the farm back home would be downright positively lethal. And I don't mean like going into the goat pen, like, you know, it's not as if Australian goats are like all the other animals there and likely to maim, kill, eat or poison you, and possibly in that order. More so, I was out mowing the lawn with impunity, not worried that I was going to end up in the ICU because of a huge sudden allergic reaction to one of the many pollens that are found in Australian native plants that induce a hideous allergic reaction in me. Nope, here, nothing at all. The only plant growing here in the Pacific Northwest that gives me a tight chest is marijuana. But the other thing I was doing in clearing all of that grass, doing a little bit of lawn mowing, was with absolutely no fear of the tiny little snakes that are running around here. Very much the tiny snakes that Frank Zappa suggested that you could keep as pets, on account of them being side of motion picture and television engineers. But we're not talking about the snakes today, we're talking about the goaties. Goaties, the ungulates, the browsers, the little fermentation engines. Don't think they'll be getting any of this hay. These giant green marshmallows you can see up here, which is, turns out, one of our more lucrative agricultural productions at the moment. Some fine quality hay there, fermenting away to become haylage and to be consumed by, I don't know, cows mostly. Not our cows. Not this hay. The second cutting of hay is what we get, and that's in the more traditional square bales that the viewers at home will be more familiar with, I would imagine, having been to their fair share of shitty office Christmas parties.
That must be in Australia.
What, you don't have the obligatory Cowboys and Indians Christmas party? Probably haven't for a while, on account of just how terribly racist it all is, but hey, you know, Australians, just like their trans-Tasman colleagues, are insufferably woke and have managed to cure all of their indigenous cross-cultural problems. It's a veritable paradise for people of colour back in Australia and New Zealand. No fear whatsoever of being murdered by the cops. Yeah, that's for sure. So that's why I'm sure that all the Antipodeans are out in the streets now marching for justice in America. Good job, folks. Good job. You've really convinced all those other people out there. Anyway, let's get back to the goaties. Goaty, goat. You can see it's a little less ferocious out here. We had the hay done. I mean, it's all very much to Randy Wood, the wood farmer's schedule, and he licked his finger, stuck it in the air and said, today is the day I'm going to hay Floof Farm. And there he was, doing the haying. So it's pretty rapid operation. Doesn't mess about, old Randy Wood. Neither does Dalton. Oh boy, Dalton, you are going to be some buck, aren't you?
Did you say Randy?
Did you say Randy? Did you say the R word? Yeah, Randy Wood. I secretly suspect that Randy Wood, who is one of the hardest working farmers I've ever met, bar none, that he spends his off seasons either cruising like the casinos of Monte Carlo. Maybe he just spends it all his wintertime luxuriating on the beaches in Rio de Janeiro. Who knows? He could be an international man of mystery. I didn't know him when MH370 went missing, but I've been meaning to ask people around here, like, where was Randy when that happened? Was he actually at 12,000 feet fighting with terrorists trying to save the plane? But, unable to, so having to bail out the last minute, leaving a dead James Bond in the hands of the Russian villain, and being like, sorry Jimmy, but Uncle Sam's calling me in on this one. But Randy! And that was the last words he ever heard. I've quite a line of speculative fiction based around my CIA operative character, Randy Wood. Don't forget to buy it. It'll be available in the Floof Farm store and on Amazon under the category of self-published farmer fan fiction. Taking the Toggenburgs for a walk. Oh, well, yes, it's a little hard even with this fantastic selfie stick, but those attentive members of the audience will have noticed that our Goats Tuesday and Taco are wearing taco-themed collars. I'm going to, from now on, use the ABC, that's the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, not the American. What does ABC stand for here?
American Broadcasting Corporation.
There you have it. It turns out that one's easy to mix up. But the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Auntie, as we know her back home, seemed to have a very strict style guide for quite some time regarding two Australian politicians by the name of Tony Abbott and Peter Costello. And an entire generation, nay, maybe two generations, were denied the daily pleasure of hearing the two top conservative politicians in the country being referred to as Abbott and Costello. No, we got Costello and Abbott. Even if the two monkeys were sitting in the room next to each other in order of Abbott and Costello with their literal name tag saying Abbott next to Costello, the ABC would still go Costello and Abbott with the total absence of any humour that I think summed up the terrible dreary politics of the late 90s, early noughts in Australia. So in keeping with that long-standing tradition, I'm going to be referring to our Toggenburgs as Tuesday and Taco, henceforth. Dalton, by his Toggenburg name of Hard Shell. Oh! And here's Charlie. Oh, here comes Parkour Goat. Here they all come. Parkour Goat. House Goat. How's it going, House Goat? Oh, little house goat. You're getting so big, house goat. Don't grow old, house goat. We love you like you are. Monster goat. Oh, you know, they just want to be heard. Oh, little Miss Paisley. Ah, well, that's enough out of that. You gotta go, goaty goats. Whoops. And yeah, well, I'm gonna wrap that sucker up right there as the end of our little Toggenburg walk treat. I had a great time. Hope you all had a great time. Hope you're getting your end of the world away. Supplemental edition. I'd have to say that, let's be honest, despite having no vaccine, no cure, no radical treatments, and antibody testing that's only 30% that has a 30% false negative rate, it does seem the rest of the world has decided that, this whole pandemic thing wasn't really working out for them. So we're just going to go back to the way things were and hope for the best. So as the lockdowns end and we all wander around thinking to ourselves, what the fuck actually happened? I really hope that you use that opportunity to get your end of the world away. Thanks for watching.